Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome back to billing management system tutorials. In the previous lecture I have started a new software, that is this one, and I have created the whole complete base of our billing management system. I have set it up the login screen and the settings screen and the MDI window and the home screen and a little bit about the roles window and the users window. Okay, so today I am going to create the database and the CRUD operations inside these windows, and further work we will also see if we got the extra time. So let's start and have a look what we have today. Alright guys, so up till now I have worked this much, and these are my buttons and this is my home screen I have already mentioned, and this is my roles window. Okay, when I click here, so I am navigating to my roles window. So this is I have demonstrated in the previous lecture. Now that's my user, customer, and then bills, and then the further windows I will add on this particular home screen. So let's do the work on the roles window and then users window. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is to go on the roles window, and we have to check that whether this text box is enabled by default. No, it's not enabled. That's good. And the functionality on the add button is coming from the sample2 window. Okay, so let me go show you the sample2 window. This is my sample2 window, and at the add button, look what I have done. Let me zoom in. What I have done, I have created an integer static edit variable, and when you press the add button, the value in the edit variable will become 0, and the controls that are residing in the left panel, whatever the controls are, they will be resetted and enabled. Okay, that's why I have made the controls by default disabled. Okay, and then the edit button. So when the edit button come into the context, when the value of the edit is equals to 1, I will tell you later how the value of edit will become equals to 1, and if the value becomes 1, then you just enable the controls, you don't reset the controls. Okay, so the logic behind this edit is I haven't placed an update button on the design. So the save button will act as a save button when edit is equals to 0, and when edit is equals to 1, then that save button will act as an update button. I hope it is clear to everyone. Now the rest of the code I have overridden inside my roles window. If you see here, look, at first you have the roles window, save button. I am on the back end of my roles window on the save button. Look, I have copied this save button click, and I have placed a virtual keyword here because and also public, because I have to override this function in this roles window. So I have pasted that empty function here, and then I have placed override keyword instead of the virtual. I hope it is clear to everyone. Those who are following me from the very beginning, they understand. I hope they are understanding what I have done. So then what I have done, I have checked the controls, whether the controls are empty or not. Simple, whether the controls are empty or not, and then I have displayed a message that you cannot leave the controls blank. See the demonstration in the previous lectures of this check controls. I have demonstrated in very detail. And then when the edit is equals to 0, look, by default when you press the add button, the value in the edit will become 0. This edit is coming from the sample2. That's because that's my static variable. Okay, I haven't created here this edit variable. Then I have created a hash table. Why I have used the hash table? Because in the previous lectures I have uploaded a video, universal CRUD operations. So for reference you can see that, and in that particular universal CRUD operations I have used a global method to insert, update, select, and delete. So that's what the case here. So a hash table is created, and inside that hash table I have passed my parameter, and I have passed the value that I wanted to pass with that parameter. So, and then the CRUD module that I have added here, let me show you that CRUD module. This is my CRUD module, and this is my CRUD class, and here in this CRUD class I have created the global functions for my insert, for my update, for my delete. So guys, this is my function that is useful for insert also, for update also, for delete also. So have a look at this code and try to understand how dynamic work or dynamic code is. So let's go and continue the task. And then what I have done, I have created a parameter here, that is my procedure, insert roles, and then the message will be displayed, and then the controls will be disabled again, and then load roles. So where are load roles? This is my procedure, load roles, and by running this code and this procedure, what you can see, you can see the data on your grid view. Simple. So all the things I am repeating again and again, there is nothing new. Now let's continue. That's my update code. Here you are passing the name and the ID to on where you are going to update the role, and then that's update procedure, and then the messages and the display, and then last is the delete button. So we have the delete button code. Okay, it's same as the previous window. Here again you are passing it via hash table, and the same function is repeated, but the procedure is different. So the all code is same. I hope it is clear to everyone. Okay, and then reset disable, and then reset roles, load roles. And on view button I have simply load the roles. When you click the view button, then the roles will be displayed. And on send click, look, that is the place where you can specify the grid click. So when you click the grid, automatically you come inside the edit mode, and when you press the save button again after clicking on the grid, the data will be loaded on the controls, and then when you press the save button, the data will be updated. It will not be saved because you have clicked the grid, and value of the edit will become 1. I hope it is clear to everyone. And then I have picked up the row from my grid view, that on any click, let's say I have clicked on the 6th row of the grid, then the 6th row will only be picked up because of this E, and then stored inside this row, and whatever data you have in that row will be picked up one by one via its cells. Simple, row and columns. So every column is basically a cell. So from that cell, that row, that particular cell, that is my cell, that pick up the role ID GV data and stored it inside the role ID variable. So where is this role ID variable? That's role ID variable I have created here. Simple. So that I can use this role ID variable to update and to delete the data. Okay, so let me demonstrate this roles window first by performing some crude operations. Okay, that's my login window. Validations are also there. I haven't validated the login right now. We'll see later on. Roles. Look, by default it is disabled until and unless you press the add. Okay, so now this control is enabled. Now what you have to do, you have to specify the name. Let's say what can we add here? Manager, let's say. Okay, so save. Look, manager added successfully into the system, and I have already added the administrator. Look, so when you are clicking on the grid, automatically the data is loaded here, and now I wanted to update this data. So I cannot click the add button, I have to click the edit button. Okay, so that's the phenomena. So look, controls are now enabled only, it is not they are not resetted. Manager, and when you click the save button, look, it said that it is updated successfully. So it is basically depending on the edit variable, the value of edit variable, that is 0 and 1. Simple. So look, data is updated, and likewise you can delete the data, and when you press the view button, look, the data is viewable in front of you people now. Okay, so that's what the roles window is. Let me show you the database. So BMS is my database. Tables are 2 only right now, the roles and the users. Okay, let me show you the details of this roles table so that you can also be able to create your roles table inside your SQL. So that's my primary key, role ID, and that's my role name. And let's open the users. So user ID, username, this is also primary key, password, phone number, address, role ID, because user belongs to a particular role. Okay, so that's why that's the foreign key. If you need the query of these things, so let me show you the query also. So script table as create to new query window. Simple, you can get the query. Though we write the syntax, when we write the syntax by our own, it's very easy and understandable, but this is then auto generated code by SQL. So if you notice here, the create table code you can pick up from here, and you can add the primary keys and the foreign keys and all that. You look, the foreign key is there, the primary key is there. So simply you have to select all this and then execute it. Your table will be generated. I hope it is clear to everyone. So if somebody wants query, then that's why I have mentioned this users table query here. And then let me show you the roles also. Script table create to new query window. So that's my role table query. Simple. Okay, it's a small table, and I have also saved the original queries that I have written. Let me show you. SQL Server Studio. Nope, I haven't saved. No, I haven't saved. Yes. No, I haven't. So no problem, you can use this particular code to create your roles table and your users table. I hope it is clear to everyone. These things are not mandatory to write, you just use this simple syntax for creating a table. I hope it is clear to everyone. See my previous lectures, and in that lectures I have created the tables also, and in the upcoming lectures and in today's lecture maybe I will create another table so that you can be able to see how work is going on. And then the programmability, the stored procedures, and if you see here I have already created the stored procedures for roles table and for the users table. Okay, so notice here, insert roles, update roles, delete roles, and you have the get roles, and then we have the insert users, update users. So all things are there. Okay, we have to just call. So let me show you the procedures. Let me show you the insert procedure first. I hope by following me up till this point you are able to create stored procedures by heart. I hope it is understandable to everyone by default now. So that's my insert stored procedure. I have just inserted a value, that is name, and this name I have passed from my code, okay, along with the value. That's insert. And let me show you the update. So that's update procedure where id is equals to this. So whatever the role id will be, the role will be updated, and you have checked already. And then delete roles. So and then get roles. So the reason of displaying these procedures to you is that you can create the further tables by yourself, okay, because this is how you can learn. If everything is displayed to you and then you can just copy it and paste it, then this is not the way of learning. So try by yourself also, think and then do. So I'm not going to show you the users insert, update, select, delete queries. I hope it is clear to everyone how can you do that. Now let's continue to the users window. So for that, let's go to the users, Solution Explorer, close this, and users window. That's my users window. So I have to design the users window first. Okay, so remove this name. Okay, what I need, first of all, a label. Okay, and let me put the text box opened, a label and the text box. Okay, so that's fine. And then what you need, let me refer to the database. So name, username, password, phone, address, and role. So name, then username, then password, then phone, then address, and then role. So that's it. Okay, now arrange the icons, arrange the controls as per their places. Okay, now it's fine. And this one is also like this, arrange it along with the lines, okay, so it can be good. Now that's my drop down list. So combo box, and place it here, and place it here also. Now make its size to equal to text boxes, and now select all these text boxes and increase their sizes together. Okay, now that's fine. And now give them the details, that is the user name, that is the name, and then it should be the username, and then it should become the password, and the password, use system password character. So that is, where is that? Okay, sorry, select your text box and then use system password character, so it will become the password. And then what is this? That's my phone. Sorry, I have to write it here, phone, and then you have to write here address, and then you have to write here the roles. Okay, and then in fact write role, so because one user belongs to one role. And now give the appropriate names to these text boxes also. So that's my text box, and go to your SQL and see what's the data type here, and so its length is 50, So what you can do, you can come here, and maximum length of this text box should be 50, and then the name of the text box should be name text, and then let's go to the username and verify from the database that is 50 also, password is also 50. So that's username text, and then that's my password text. Okay, length I haven't specified, so password is also 50 and username is also maximum length 50. Save, and then phone, the maximum length is 15, and the text box name should be phone text, and then the address, so address text, and that's my role drop down. So make it a drop down list and also make it pop up so that it can be validated by our validation controls. So roles drop down. Okay, now that's all, and now double click on every particular text box so that you can be perform the validation event on text change. So double click everywhere. Okay, now it's fine. Now close this all because I don't need these windows. And now name text, if name text dot text is equals to blank, then name text dot back color is equals to color dot fabric. If the text box is blank, then make it red, and then else copy this code and paste it here, and what you can do, make it white again. Okay, so that's fine. Now the same line will be repeated but with some different controls. So that's my username. First let me copy everywhere. Okay, so that's my phone, that's my address, and that's my selected index change. So paste everywhere. Now what you can do, you can come here and simply apply username text. Now copy this username text, paste it and paste it, simple. And then that's my password text, double click, copy, paste and paste. So that's my password, and then that's my phone, so phone text, and then copy and paste and paste. So this is validation I am doing one time, because so that you can be able to do in every window that you will create, like the role window. We haven't done this part in the roles window. So address text and double click, copy, paste, and now because that's my drop down list, so I don't need this validation type. So role drop down dot selected index is equals to 0 or -1, sorry. So what you can do, role drop down dot back color is this, and then copy and then paste, simple. So you have applied on text change, on selected index change validation. So when your text box becomes empty, your controls will be validated that the color will be become red. Okay, same is the case you can do in the roles window also. Double click on your roles text and then copy this same code here from the users window. Let me copy this one, copy and come here and paste. Okay, so here what you can specify, role text, copy it, paste it and save. Alright, so now save it, and let's open the users window via home screen. So let's go to the home screen, double click on the users button, and here you can copy this code to open the window of home's users. So users window, and then copy and then paste, and that's it. So let's start. Okay, I have copied an extra bracket, so the error will appear. Yes, so remove this bracket first from this side. Yes, that's fine. Save it and then start. Ignore these warnings, no problem, because we're doing inheritance. So anything right here, and then login and then users. So look, my users window is appearing. When you click save button, nothing is happening. Okay, and validations are also not there, and yes, the events are also not there. Okay, we have to do that also. So let me go to the sample2, and then let me copy all these, save, edit, delete, view, search, copy it, and look, I'm doing it in front of you people on this users window. So after this, paste these all functions, and then instead of this virtual, copy and replace with override, and then current document should be selected and replace all. Now let us do the save code. And what should we do here? Simple, go to the roles window and copy all the code what you have inside the save button in the roles window. Okay, so copy this all and then come inside the users window and paste it here. Simple. Okay, now what you have to do, you have to import first the hash table. For that you have to press control dot, and you can use system.collections. And now you don't have the main class also here, so what you can do, using CMS, because inside the CMS folder, why I am using CMS here, let me verify it once again. When you open the main class, okay, so you notice here the namespace name here is CMS, because I have copied it and imported from some other namespace. That's why the default namespace is there. You can change it, but I'm not going to change it. I'm just demonstrating you why I'm importing CMS. Simple. So that's why I have used this, so that I can be able to import the main class. So my main class, now look, it's loaded. And now what I have to do, because these are my users, so I have to copy and paste these things. So first of all, remove this and remove this, copy, paste, 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 and one or two things, 2 times more. Okay, now save. And now let's open the insert roles, insert users. Okay, so that's okay. The first thing I need is name, so I have pasted here. Then I need username, copy, and I have pasted here. And then I need password, copy, and then pasted. And then I need phone, copy and paste. And then I need address, so address, and then role ID, and here is my role ID. Okay, save it. And now remove this one because I don't need, that's extra. And now what you have to pass here, name text dot text, and then username text dot text, and then password text dot text, and then phone text dot text, and then address text dot text, and then role ID. So convert dot, how can you pick up the role ID? I will tell you later, but for this code I have to mention it. Convert dot to integer 32, and the value of the role drop down will be picked up as a role ID. So selected value, okay, dot to string. So on the back end of the role drop down, I will specify the ID of the role. Okay, so that's it. Now CRUD, using CRUD you have to mention it also, using CRUD, because that's my folder. And then look, the CRUD's errors are removed, yes. And now what you have to mention here, name text, because you are adding the user, added successfully into the system. In fact of load roles, you have to write here load users. So let's go to the roles window, and that's my function. So guys, can we create a function that will that can be used as a dynamic function, and in fact of calling or creating this method again and again, we can reuse it. So let us go to the definition. Here if you see, you are passing the grid view, you are passing the procedure, and you are passing the list box. Okay, so in fact of list box, we can also be able to pass the hash table, and based on that hash table you can be easily do the same task as of CRUD operation. So you can also do that. I have given you an idea, you can use that idea by yourself. I will tell you later, but right now I have short time, so let me complete the code first. So where is the users design? Yes, this users code here. So in fact of load roles, you have to copy right now this one and paste inside the users window, this load users. In fact this you are writing load users, and now what you have to do, you have to add a grid view inside your users window. So here, go to your roles window, copy this grid and come here inside your users window and paste it here. Okay, so in fact of this role you have to add the other things also. Role ID and role should be remaining, and one more column, that is ID GV. First of all, user ID GV, that is user ID, and that should not be visible, read only. Then the name GV, and then name should be in cap uppercase, it should be visible and read only. And then username GV, and here you should write username, read only. You call the password, but the password is not visible on the grid, so password GV, password, it should remain at the back but it's not visible. And then password, then phone GV. Okay, that's my phone, and then visible, and then address. So guys, I am doing it for one time because of the short time. Later windows I will create with the same procedure. Okay, so you have to create by yourself that windows. Okay, now address. After address we have the role ID and role already, so close it and then okay. So everything is now appearing. Okay, what's this? Let me check which column is this one. Address, yes, so I have to write here address. That's it, and then click OK. Now that's all set. Now go to your code and find your stored procedure for get users, modify here, because the relationship is there, so I have joined with the roles table with the common column between the two tables. The first thing that I have to pass is the ID column, so user ID. So here you have to write user ID GV. Then the second thing you have to pass is the user, so name GV, and then copy and then paste, 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 paste and paste. What else you need? You need the username, so after this you need username GV. Then you need password, so pass GV. Then you need phone address, so phone GV, and then address GV, and then you need ID and the role, so that's my role ID GV. And then one more I have to add here is the role GV. So sequentially you have to give here the columns. Okay, cancel it, and then that's my role GV. That's it. And now get users, in fact you write here get users, so copy it and paste it, and then that's it. So load users, so whatever written here, cancel it and write load users, simple. So that's my code for insert, and I am copying this same code and I am pasting it here because everything is same. In I have to just add one extra ID here. Okay, so paste it, and now copy this line and paste it here, and go to your update procedure of users, so modify, and look, everything remains the same. This one addition is there, so @ID, copy and paste it here, and from where you can get the user ID, from the grid click, so integer user ID, and then you have to pass it here user ID, save, and then instead of insert roles, what you can write, the update users, copy and paste. So updated successfully, data will be resetted and disabled, and then the users will be loaded. And then on delete, what we have to do, we have to go on the roles window because I have already done the delete code, so I'm copying this. And what you have to do, you have to come here on the users window and paste. So what I wish to pass here is the user ID, and then the parameter is simple ID, so that's fine. And then in fact of delete roles, you have to write here the delete procedure, delete user, this one. So copy this, let me open the delete procedure also so that you can be able to view. So that's my delete stored procedure, and then you have to pass it here, and then here you need name text deleted successfully, and here you write load users, simple, and then copy this load users and paste it here in view button, save it. That's it. One thing more that you have to do is the glit click. So events, cell click, and then go to your roles, copy this one and go to your users window and paste it, simple. So here you need user ID, and here you need to pass user ID GV column so that the data will be picked up from this column to and stored inside this user. Okay, and then you need the name text dot text, and here you need to pass the name. Here order doesn't matter, no problem. Name GV, so name GV, the grid view column name should come here, and then copy, paste, paste, paste. Here you write username GV and close it, and right here username text, and then password text dot text is written already there, so you can select here password GV, and then you need phone number and address, so copy it and paste it, and one more time paste it. After password you need phone text, and here you need phone GV, specify your phone GV here and then close it, and then you need address GV, address text, and then specify your address GV, double quotes, and then the last thing is the role. So role drop down dot selected value, because it is a data bound thing, dot selected value is equals to role ID GV, because based on that ID the value of the role will be picked up, and you don't need to write here toString because it's the value. That's fine. So one more thing that you have to do on your users window, that is the loading of the roles on form load. So on form load, what you can specify, main class, crude dot load list, and what you wanted to load here, give here the procedure. So I wanted to load the roles, so get roles is the procedure, modify and copy and paste it here. Okay, get roles, and then combo box where I wanted to load the roles, that's my roles drop down, and then the value member should be ID, and here you should write the role. Okay, the display member, simple. Save it, and let's start and have a look what we have. So this is all about the users and the roles. Login, users. So look, by default it is empty because I have, let me show you why it is empty. If I go to the definition of this, I have made this selected index -1 look by default. So when the selected index is -1, that will become red. I have mentioned it already, so that's why. So you can do the trick on load. You can make the color white again. After loading, you can make the color white again. You can do that. Okay, now if you see here, the roles are appearing, and when you select anything, it will become white because the selected index now changed. So let us save. Look, the validations are appearing. Add, validations are removing. Again save, and when you type anything, look, the validations are also removing. Okay, so let me write here the user, let's say Ali Raza. Okay, and then username is Ali, password is 12345, the password character, phone number is 0345-1231231, let's say, address is, let's say, Karachi, and then the role is, let's say, administrator. Okay, and now save. Okay, it is saying that, okay, that's my mistake. Instead of insert users, I have used the insert roles. Let me correct it, no problem. Let's go to the users, and that's my update users, that's correct. But here I haven't changed this one, so let us go and select the insert users procedure. So copy it and paste it here. That's it. Now let's start. Okay, whatever right here, no problem. Login, no roles, users, add. Okay, by default these controls should also be disabled first. Let me do that for security purposes. Why I'm doing so much this type of things, this is the quality assurance. So when you find the bug, always resolve it directly. If you leave it for the later work, then maybe you will forget. So that's what I am trying to do. So what I am doing, I am selecting all the controls and enabled false. Simple. Okay, when you press the add button, the controls will be enabled. Start. Okay, login, and then the users, add. Now it's fine. Okay, so Ali Raza, username Ali, password 12345, and then phone number is this. That's a dummy phone number, and okay, and then click save. So look, the data is saving, and when you click OK, the data is appearing appropriately along with the role, and when you click here, the details are applying here also. Okay, so hopefully you understood what I have done. Now after that, what I wanted to do, I wanted to apply the login code so that you can be login perfectly. So how can you do that? Let me show you. For that purpose, let's go to the login window. Where is my login window? Here is my login window, and go on your button, and if you see here, I have skipped this code. Okay, now because I have my users, my roles, so now I can be able to do this login. So close this st_get login details. So what I need here, I need to pass a procedure, that is get authentication details. Okay, so okay guys, look what I have done. I have passed a user and the password, and based on that things I have called these name ID, role, and role ID. Okay, and then what I have done, simply based on that user and password, I will pick up these details. Simple. So that's my stored procedure that I have created here. I have also created this stored procedure in the previous clinic management system also, so you can refer from that also, and you can see from here also, no problem. So get login details, and what is the procedure name? Copy it, and simple, come here, and look, it is asking you procedure, so give your procedure. Okay, and then what it is asking you, it is asking you to provide your hash table. So comma, and then hash table. Why I am passing the hash table? Let me show you at the back end of this login details. So let us go to the definition and see here. Look, based on the hash table, I am picking up the parameter, I am picking up the value, and then whatever the values will be, based on that value, if the data is there, then the data is stored inside the properties that I have created inside this class by default. So look, everything I have done in the previous softwares, and now I don't need to call again and again. Simple. The name of the user, the role of the user will automatically be stored when I call this stored procedure. In these are my original variables, these are my properties, and these are static, so that I can use it all over the software. So that's it. I hope it is clear to everyone. This is the thing that is used at the back end of the login. And now let us go to the login window, and first I have to create a hash table. So check controls is there, and now hash table. Okay, hash table is not coming, no problem. Hash table, press control dot, using system.collections, ht is equals to new hash table, and pass your username st.add and password. So why I am passing it? Look, the key and the value. So at key you are giving the username, copy, and then paste, and then user text dot text, and copy it and paste it for password. So @pass, I think that's the name. Yes, that's the name. And then here should be the pass text. I hope it is clear to everyone. Now pass your ht here. Simple. That's it. So close the bracket, If the login is successful, then what you can do, come inside and paste. You can go to the home screen. Else what you can do, you can give a message, copy this message and paste it, and you can write here invalid login details. Simple. Okay, invalid login details. And then one more thing that you have to do here is double click here, so that the validation will be applied on text changes also. So let's go to the double click of this and copy this line and text change. You can paste it here and you can paste it here. In fact, you write here user text and copy this, paste it, and then the password text. So copy it, paste and paste. Simple. So that's my login. And one more thing that I have to do is, no, everything is fine. By default I am giving some username. Later on I will show you. So look, the validations are applied when you click here, when you write here Ali, the username, and the password is 12345. okay, and when you press login, look, you are logged in, but look, the name should be displayed here. Okay, so what you can do after login on the sample, because that sample has this users label. Let me show you here. Okay, so when you load the sample, go to the load of the sample, select this window and go to the load. So when the sample window is loaded, what should happen? What is the name of that label? Let me check. The name is label 2, the coding name. Okay, so here you can write label 2 dot text is equals to, and you can select your crude dot no, not crude, you have the authentication module, right? So you can call the authentication module at the top using authentication module. See the previous softwares for this, how I have created this module. Okay, authentication. So auth, what is the name of the authentication class? Let me check. Let us go to the authentication, and the name is login. Login is the name of my class. So you can write here login and then dot, look, name, role, whatever you need, you can pass it. Simple. So the name of the user will be picked up and it will be displayed. So let us check. Okay, one validation that you have to apply also, let me show you. If let me write here, if login.name, copy and paste, if login.name is equals to blank, or login.name is equals to null, then cut this, paste this, else paste this. And here when the name is blank, then you can simply write welcome user. Simple. Okay, and then save. So that's it. Let us check. So look guys, welcome user is appearing, and now if I am writing here some wrong data, it is displaying me that invalid username and password, and then invalid login details. And now, okay, 2 message boxes are there, so let me check that also. 1 2 3 4 5, and then login, look, welcome Ali Raza is displaying. Okay, and when you log out, on logout you have to do the same task. You have to clear that. This is the thing. So let us go and do that. First thing that we have to do is go to the login, and if you see here invalid login details message is there, so I don't need to mention this message because already the message is displaying there, so I don't need to display this message. Simple. And now what you can do, you can go to your MDI window and file and log out, and here you can specify the login screen. So login window, copy and paste. And one more thing that you can do here is login. Okay, so login module is not there, so I have to call there using authentication, and now login dot name is equals to blank, and then you have to clear everything because everything is static. Role is equals to blank, and then login dot, okay, one thing is we have one more problem because I cannot set these things. Yes, because I have made them private, I cannot use to assign the value, so leave it. Okay, for that purpose, or if you don't want to leave that, you just go to your login code in the authentication module and make them look. Okay, now it's fine. I have mentioned it private, that's why that the data was not taking from that part outside that class. So I am removing this private from every user ID, every property that I have created. Now rebuild it so that it can be updated in the references also. Rebuild succeeded. Close this, and now if you go to your MDI, so look, the data is now assigned. Okay, so login dot user ID is equals to blank, so everything should be blank. Okay, because that's integer, so you have to pass here 0, and then copy it and paste it, and then what you have else, you have user ID and name role, user ID and role ID, so role ID should also be 0. That's it. Now that's fine. So let us go and double click on the settings window and copy this and paste it so that you can be directly go to the settings, and let us go to the exit. So application.exit is already there, so fine. Alright, so login and 1 2 3 4 5, press enter, and now when you press logout, you see the user is now blank. So that's it. And one more thing that I must mention here, when you are at login screen, it should not be logout. Okay, so logout button is only enabled when you are on when you are logged in. So we'll see that later, but we have to do further tasks. There is a lot of things to do also. Now what to do next, let me show you. What I am thinking that I must stop here and then create a separate window because the length of the video is going up and up. So I think I must stop here, and then we'll continue in the next video what we have to do. So hopefully you have understood what we have done. Thank you so much. Take care. Allah Hafiz.